After Amazon, Walmart is the second largest marketplace, holding a 7% overall share amongst all marketplace sales online. So, you should look at having Walmart be one of the platforms that you're selling on. And what better way to sell on Walmart than to run some ads? So, we're going to be going over and looking at how to set up ads, which types of ads there are on Walmart, what is the differences between Amazon, Shopify, Google Ads, Meta Ads, etc., and what you should really look at for your starting strategy for advertising. To start off here, we're going to run right into the actual Walmart page. So when you're on Walmart, we can see ads in a few different ways. We'll do something pretty simple here. We'll do snacks to start out, and we will start looking. So you can see, first and foremost, we have this. So right here, you can see a big form of advertisement right at the top. And this is what you would consider to be a sponsored brand. So this is a sponsored brand ad on Walmart. You get to have this kind of placement near the top. This is called a product carousel. So that both of those are two very different types of branding. You can also have this as a sponsored product as well for your carousel, but typically is going to be seen more often with sponsored brand. So this is one type of advertisement that you can have on Walmart. Next, we have sponsored product. So these are sponsored products. As you can see right here, it says sponsor on each one of these. This is what people would be looking at when they are seeing it on Amazon, for instance. You would consider this to be top of search. This instead is search in grid. So this is where we would consider this type of advertisement to be a sponsored product search in grid. So this is a different type of one than what you do up here. This, again, is a product carousel for brands. And so let's just click into one of these real quick, and we can see even when we click into this, there's even more ways to advertise. So you can see down here we have things where it's similar items you might like. Again, this is considered a product carousel. Down here, you'll see we have some sponsored. You have a sponsored right here, another sponsored here. So these, again, are different types of sponsored product locations. So you have three different types of advertising on Walmart. You have sponsored product, sponsored brand, and sponsored video. So we've seen the sponsored product, we've seen the sponsored brand. Next comes up the idea of placements. So as you saw beforehand, we have the placement at the very top. You also have what is considered here to be a search page or buy box placement. We also saw the in grid. This is also an in grid. And then you have this one down here. So this is a buy box placement. So this is a sponsored product buy box placement. You can have this in the actual overall page, having it be somewhat like a product page placement. So a lot of different places so far that we're already covering. We'll go over all of these again before we really dive into the ads, but you need to understand when you are working on Walmart, all of the different ways and places and areas that you can actually start to push to have your product. It makes it interesting to see what works best as far as an advertising strategy for your type of product. Would it work best to try and target certain competitors that you're trying to overtake from a buy box perspective? Possibly. And then also from a keyword perspective. And if we go back here as well, we'll scroll down a little bit and boom, we are met with a sponsored video. So sponsored video will appear in all four of the carousel sections on the actual search page as well. This is considered a sponsored video for search in grid again. So you can see, and then all the way at the bottom, we'll just look here, see if we see any others that pop up. We have another right here. So this is another sponsored brand that you can look at. So these are all the different types of different advertisements that you could possibly be running on Walmart, right? So you can do all of these, and then we'll get in depth as to which ones are best, which ones are worse, and how you want to really set up your ads for the best success. So jumping on in here real quick, we will go over to the actual advertisement. So first and foremost, you will name your campaign. For this one, I'm just doing test, so I'm just going to do NA, right? So again, we have our sponsored products, sponsored brands, sponsored videos. If we head on back here, we can look at those again. Sponsored products. So these are singular sponsored products. So if we're going to set that up, we would do it here. You have two different types of targeting, automatic and manual. Automatic targeting is where it's going to use Walmart's own algorithm to search and select relevant keywords for you. So you can use automatic targeting if you're not too keen on keyword research just yet, and also to get a better understanding of what kind of keywords work best for your product. Now, if you're going to use manual targeting, you are going to have to, and I'm not going to switch over to this right now, but you are going to have to come up with all of your own keywords. You're going to have to come up with the keywords, understand exactly what is you're trying to sell and what exact keywords work for you. It's going to be a little bit more of a upfront investment as well from an advertising perspective. But if you are good with keyword research and you understand it, then manual targeting is obviously the way to go there. Now, down to scheduling and budget. So you can do two different types of advertisements when it comes to scheduling and budget, technically three on Walmart's marketplace. First and foremost would be having an indefinitely run campaign. So what does that mean? It means that you can click this, you can have a start date, and that campaign is going to run until it runs. It's never going to stop running unless you set a specific end date. So you can unclick this, and if you have, for instance, a campaign that you are setting up specifically for Mother's Day, Father's Day, Black Friday, Christmas, etc., you can run campaigns and have a specific time frame for them to run. Now, another aspect of this to understand is your actual budget and how that works. So you can see these two different ones, and this is a little different than how a lot of other campaigns work, but you can see we have total budget here, right here, and then we have daily limit. Now, the way that this works is that even if you have a campaign that is running indefinitely, if you set a total budget of, let's say, $500, then that means that this campaign will only perform up to spending $500. It doesn't matter how long it takes to spend that $500 when it's indefinite. It will only ever spend a max of $500. And then on top of that, we have daily limit. Now, daily limit is where how much can it spend on a given day. We have $50 here, so if we were to spend our entire allotment here every single day of $50, this campaign would run for a total of 10 days. This gives a little bit more ability to actually control your ads and see, exactly what you want to do. So again, if you're doing it for a specific event, if you're trying to push a certain type of traffic, if you're doing a type of sale or anything like that, this is a good way to really control and make sure you know exactly how much you're going to be spending rather than just continuous spend. On top of that, if you don't use your daily budget in full, so let's say I have a daily budget of $50 for this campaign. If I then only spend $25 in total for one of those days, that extra $25 would roll over to the next day. So that means that I would then have $75 available for the next day to be utilized. And then that day, if let's say we only spend $40, okay, we now have $35 that are rolling over to the next day, meaning the next day is $85, so on and so forth. So it's one of the things you do want to take into consideration. I am more of a fan, and one thing you can do is just set this to nothing. You do not have to have a total budget on your campaign. I don't typically recommend you do a total budget unless there is a specific reason for it. So again, specific reasons would be you're trying not to spend more than $5,000 in any given month, right? Okay, so you're going to run a campaign here, here, and here, and each one's going to have, $1,200 here, $800 there, so on and so forth. So if you have a very set, rigid ad budget that you cannot have more of, then I would absolutely look at total budget. For your daily budget, I would focus more on how much you assume you're going to be spending on a daily based on the keywords. When we're looking at automatic targeting, you want to start off small and then raise it from there. $50 for a daily limit is usually a very, very good place, depending on the product, to start and what your average cost per click is going to be. Now, for bid multiplier, this is where people get a little tripped up and don't understand. So just so everyone is aware, the way that a bid multiplier works is that you have these percentages here. Let's say that for the buy box, I wanted to do 50%. If my cost per click that I set for my product is $1, that means that it will take $1 times 50%, which is 50 cents, and it will add it to my normal $1 cost per click. So the new cost per click for buy box placements specifically will be $1.50. Now, what do each one of these placements do? Again, buy box, if we come back here, we click on the Ritz cracker, you can see this is a buy box placement. So you have a buy box placement on the actual page here, and this is what would be considered a placement for buy box. Now, if we are doing search in grid, now search in grid is this right here. This is considered a search in grid. When you are talking about the grid, this is the grid, the entire product grid of all of the different products. So you can assume any placement here would be for this search in grid. You are trying to hit this right here. Next, we have homepage. Homepage is the most interesting of them, and it is specifically, if we just click into, let's say, the home category here, you can get certain placements on the actual homepage. So I'm not seeing any specific for home here, but that is one of those areas where if you want to get on the homepage for a specific category, you can definitely do that as well. So that is how you would do homepage. Next, we have stock up. Stock up is specifically a category on Walmart where if you have, let's say, a snack item that you are trying to sell, you can be shown within their stock up section on the desktop and mobile app. Stock up is specifically a section, again, it's another type of category where Walmart has products specific to stocking up on them. So I'm not a huge fan of the stock up section. I typically don't find that that is going to give all of that much when it comes to an advertisement perspective and trying to actually grow the product. So I would stay away from stock up as far as doing any actual placements there. Now, the next interesting part is we have the ability for platform here. Platform, as you can imagine, is just desktop, their app, and their mobile site. When we are doing placements for each one of these, it is very, very important to note that 60+% of sales are going to be coming from the mobile and app side of things. So mostly the app. Walmart is very, very big when it comes to its app. It's where the majority of all of its sales are coming from, is off of the app, not from desktop, not from mobile. And so when you are trying to figure out what you should be putting here for placement, I would definitely go with the app side of things before anything else. If you are going to be doing a search and grid or a buy box, then app is definitely where you want to go. If you are wanting to do something such as, let's say, stock up, desktop may be a little bit more of the better way to do it there, just from the aspect of stock up has a very large B2B presence, and desktop is primarily going to be a lot of B2B sales there. Now, past this as well, we have ad groups. As you can see, we can create an ad group here. And what you would do is you just have to click this button for search whatever products you're going to put in there, and then you will add the product over here. This is also where it will give you your suggested bid, so what Walmart thinks your bid should be, and then what you can set your bid as. Again, this bid that we have right here, this 97 cents, let's just go like this, make it $1. If we were to do that, we would then also have this buy box, so we have $1 placement for buy box. So that is how you essentially have all of the actual products. And then once you are done here, all you would have to do is click save and then launch campaign. Very similar. If we were to go ahead and do a sponsored brand, the difference here for sponsored brand and sponsored video is manual targeting only. So you cannot do automatic targeting for sponsored brand and sponsored video, unfortunately. But from an aspect of how we are going to actually do all of it, so let's do test 1, 2, 3 again for the ad group, and then you can do your brand name. So you can do the brand name they're going to do here. You add a headline, then you do your logo. So if you have a brand logo you would like to push there as well, you can add that. Then we have some different things. So we have links. So we have specific types of links here, and this is where things get a little different from sponsored product, because sponsored product, again, you are trying to specifically go for products only. Whereas sponsored brand, you can do a link to a landing page of specific keyword search. So you want to link the sponsor brand to, let's say you have a landing page for just your brand name. You can definitely do that. You can also see the browse link, so link to a product category on Walmart.com. So that is, again, where if we're in that category, we click something and boom, we're taken back to the entire category. That is where that is. And then brand shop or shelf link. So Walmart has the ability, if we come up here, sponsored search, of doing a shop builder. It's essentially a storefront on the Walmart marketplace for specifically your brand. Majority of the time, if you are going to be doing a sponsored brand of some kind, you are either going to want to be doing a search link or a brand shop link. Sponsored brand is going to work best with a brand shop if you're trying to drive traffic to specifically your brand and make sure that you are there. Search link will be really good if you're trying to overtake a specific type of keyword. Both of these are completely available. You do need the link for whatever it is that you're trying to do. And then again, we would just add the products down here like we normally would. And then as we go up again, we can go to sponsored video. We'll discard and switch this. Again, manual only. The big difference here, it's just a video. So that is the only thing that you need to understand is that sponsored video is exactly it sounds. It's a video. It will appear such as this, and it's going to put products in here that are sponsored. So that is how sponsored video, and that is how you essentially set up a campaign for Walmart. Now, some things to note when you're going about this. Again, sponsored product is going to be your primary go-to. When it comes to placements, the ones that you are primarily going to be looking at are search and grid and buy box. These are the two that we have seen already on the actual listing. So again, we have search and grid here, and then we have our buy box. And finally, we have our product carousel, which again is the sponsored brand. So this is the sponsored brand for the keyword snacks. That is what we are trying to link is you would take this link for keyword snacks, and this is where that would show up for you. So these are the things that you need to understand when you're actually creating the campaign. Secondarily, once you're in the campaign as well, some things that you can do is you can go here. We'll discard this campaign for now, and you can start to see where you're actually at. So Walmart works off of, rather than ACoS or cost per click or anything like that, Walmart works off of ROAS, and rather than a number, it gives you an actual dollar amount for its ROAS. For those that don't know, ROAS is return on ad spend. So you want to always be checking your ROAS and have a ROAS goal on Walmart. As well as that, Walmart does attributed sales. So that means that, for instance, I clicked on this box of Ritz. I'm not going to buy this box of Ritz right now, but if I were to come back in, let's say, the next 6-7 days after adding it to my cart or anything like that, or whatever, and I purchase the product, Walmart will add that to attributed sales. So you can see here, total revenue earned from units sold. They don't really explain it very well there, and that's just part of it. You can see up here, we have our attribution days. We have 14 days, 3 days, 30 days. We can always look at attribution as a total. Walmart focuses very heavily on the attribution of your advertising. So when we look at, for instance, near real-time data, it's going to be very different than if we are looking at attributed data. So attributed data, again, is going to be the primary place that Walmart is going to actually give us information. The easy thing to look at is typically your ROAS is going to follow things such as ad spend. So the more you spend, usually the lower your ROAS is going to be. We have a few other areas that we can look at. So we'll add in things such as cost per click, which I think is right here. So we'll add our cost per click in. We'll keep our ROAS there. And you can see ROAS, when we have a ROAS spike, usually our average cost per click is lower. Same thing, cost per click is high, ROAS is going to be low. Again, over here, and that's typically how it's going to work. The more sales you get, the higher your ROAS is going to be. Same thing, the higher your cost per click is, usually the lower your ROAS is going to be. So these are things that you need to understand and look at when you're actually looking at the total data for your Walmart advertising. Past this as well, Walmart has a few cool features, very similar to many that people know, is the reports feature, and then also the bulk upload feature. So the reports feature will give you an idea of your advertising reports, your item health reports, on-demand reports, which is the total amount. And then as well, we also can look at all of our keywords. So we can go through, essentially look, same thing, ROAS, ad spend, attributed sales, cost per click, and we can do this on a keyword by keyword basis. So this is something that you should be looking at nearly every single day when you are actually selling on Walmart. So make sure you take a look, go through it, and understand the data as a whole. But this has been essentially a very good understanding of how to get started with Walmart ads. If you are selling on Walmart, I absolutely would say dive in. You need to be doing some advertising. As you saw when we're searching through Walmart, a large percentage of what is right in front of the consumer's eyes is going to be Walmart sponsored products of some kind. So make sure if you are going through it, check it out, do some more. Buy box and search and grid are usually going to be the best ways for you to get started. And then once you get a little bit more accustomed with where your products are showing up, you can start to look at other types of placements as well. So definitely go through this, and happy selling.